Fast forward, you need more our journey. So I say each podcast of any podcast or training because make headlines. Agent Brave now it be exum and dimnia raximu. I now subscribe to the channel at the Amami. The show say Yumbo Inra a Parliament House of Ghana. Now Afenyo Markins na meno say a speaker it me is cool no nya simple to a crab. A bra or attempt is obey maneuver his way to override a standard audits or parliament. Wow, and we can say majority leader it mean a put into order. Say you would you for any day about our channel. So Mr. say Yumbo in a parliament.
Yes, honorable members. Actually, motion number 46 was submitted to me by Honorable Kojo Opon Nkrumah, Honorable Jerry Ahmed Shaibu, Honorable Vincent Eko Asafwa, and Honorable Dr. Fred J. Asamoah. There was no Honorable Chinebua Kodua Fokuo among the sponsors of that motion. So this has just been inserted in the order paper. I did not admit his name as being one of the movers of the motion. So could we amend the records to reflect just that, those who submitted the motion? Then we can go on. Yes, so please, could we go on?
Speaker, the records should reflect as such. Mr. Speaker, with your leave, I would like to move the motion for and on behalf of the applicants.
Oh, so the minority leader wants to move it on behalf of the applicants?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. So. Speaker, with respect.
I think that's the understanding of leadership.
They are moving
He wants
the motion
to move it on behalf of the applicants.
Mr. Speaker, I was conferring to find out whether we have a quorum to take decisions on the motion. Mr. Speaker, because when I look around, I don't think we have a decision-making quorum. There's no decision-making quorum. There's no quorum. There's no quorum. Even those listed as sponsoring the motion, they are even not there. That just exacerbates the quorum issue. There's no quorum to take a decision. No, there's no quorum. There's no quorum to take a decision. So, Mr. Speaker, we need to confer on this matter because we are required to take a decision as a house. And we don't have a quorum to take that decision. So, Mr. Speaker, I think this is a serious matter because we're about to debate and take a decision about the central bank. Exactly. About the central bank. And a very important policy at that. Goal for reserves. We are going to prepare it is proper to make sure we have our numbers in the chamber
Majority Leader,
in order to move the
Majority
motion.
Leader, we haven't reached there yet. This is just for the motion to be moved. When we get to the stage of the taking the decision, then you can raise this issue about quorum. But as to moving the motion, I think it's proper. If you don't object to their moving the motion, the Minority Leader is permitted to move the motion.
Mr. Speaker, it's not just a decision-making quorum that is absent. There's actually no quorum to even, proceed, to continue. That is how serious it is. There's quorum to adjourn.
By our standing orders, I'll ask the clerk at table to draw attention to the numbers so that officially we can take a decision on it. In the meantime, Minority Leader, may you move the motion?
Speaker, with respect, I rise to move that this Honorable House, pursuant to Article 103 of the 1992 Constitution and Orders 204, 212, 213, 262, and 263 of the Standing Orders of Parliament, establish an ad hoc committee to investigate the Gold for Reserve scheme, including its design, implementation, governance, financial performance, environmental and public health implications, and any related matters. Mr. Speaker, in moving this motion, I do not do so lightly, rise under the weight of a duty that cannot be deferred. And I do so on behalf of every Ghanaian family whose hospital was never built, whose boreholes were never sunk, whose river was poisoned while the state stood by and counted its losses. I rise because, Mr. Speaker, within first 9 months of the operations of Gold Board, $214 million of the people's wealth has vanished, and this Parliament, the sovereign custodian of national interests, is entitled, indeed, obligated to know why. Mr. Speaker, it is my contention that this is a golden betrayal, and today, Mr. Speaker, we begin to demand.
Honorable Minority Leader, just a minute.
Very well, Mr.
Your
Speaker.
colleague is on his feet. Yes, please.
Mr. Speaker, Order 119 says that a member shall not read the member's speech to the largest extent possible, but may read extracts from written, printed, or electronic documents in support of the member's submission, or may refresh the member's memory by reference to notes. Mr. Speaker, since he started, he has been reading copiously. Copiously, word to word. Mr. Speaker, that's not what is supposed to happen. He's been asked to move a motion. You move the motion, but he's reading a speech in clear violation of the standing orders. So he must be called to order.
Minority Leader, your attention has been drawn to Order 119. Yes. What do you say to that?
Mr. Speaker, he has many cards to play today. It's part of his tactics. But Mr. Speaker, I've been a practitioner of the law in our courts for many years. So I'm used to some of these things. And in this house, this is my forte. So I'm used to it. I'm ready to face him. Mr. Speaker, I won't mind him. I've seen him preparing for this day. So he should have no problem at all. Mr. Speaker, in establishing the committee to investigate this matter as contained in the motion paper.
Honorable Member, I thought you have responded to the issue.
Mr. Speaker.
Don't ignore it because it's on the record.
Very well, Mr. Speaker.
And he said,
Mr. Speaker,
yes.
he's completely out of order. He mounted his application in bad faith. I was not doing what he was claiming I was doing. Mr. Speaker, I was making reference to my notes. And Mr. Speaker, it is important that part of the standing orders must not be misconstrued and must not be abused. In making submissions, you need to prepare. You don't speak extempore. This is an important, Mr. Speaker, with respect, this is an important matter. A motion is being moved. I need to rely on my written submissions. Mr. Speaker, it is going into Hansard. So it's not a matter of seeing my head down. I am referring to my written submission. And Mr. Speaker, that is what I'm doing. I am not doing what he thinks I am doing. And Mr. Speaker, you are the presiding officer. If at any point it becomes so evident that I am not moving a motion and I'm not making a submission, you will know. So, Mr. Speaker, please rule him out of order. And just so we don't spend so much time, I need to continue moving my motion.
Honorable Minority Leader, what he says is that the order doesn't say you cannot read your speech. It says you shall not read the speech to the largest extent possible. And so what he says he's doing is that he's reading extracts of the speech, which is permitted by the standing orders. And so he's not out of order. Please, you will continue. Allow the minority leader to move his motion.
Speaker, I heard him say that he intends to rely on his speech. And as a senior member of the House, he knows what to do if you want to rely on your speech. If you intend to rely on your notes, you get the Hansard to capture the entirety of the notes. That's what we do. You don't read it.
Minority Leader, you may move your motion.
Speaker, in moving this motion, it is important that we establish the constitutional imperative that allows this process. Mr. Speaker, in doing so, I must state that Article 103 of the 1992 Constitution empowers this House to proceed in terms as applied for. Mr. Speaker, clearly 1992, the Article 103 is not a mere suggestion. It is a sacred charge, and it empowers the House to appoint committees and mandate those committees to investigate and inquire into activities and administration of ministries, departments, and agencies. Speaker, that provision exists precisely for moments like this. When a public institution entrusted with a strategic national resource has allegedly failed to catastrophically ensure that it protects public funds, Mr. Speaker, Parliament must intervene. Mr. Speaker, again, Standing Orders 204 and 212 confer upon committees of this House the general powers to send for persons, papers, and records. Standing Orders 213 and 263 mandate committees to investigate and inquire into activities of public bodies. And Understanding Orders 101, 103, and 105. This private member's motion has been properly noticed and meets all requirements of admissibility. Mr. Speaker, the provision I invoke is a pillar. Together, they form the constitutional architecture that makes this motion not merely permissible but necessary. Mr. Speaker, now let me delve into the financial catastrophe, the heart at this motion. $204 million gone just within the first 9 months of the operations of Gold Board. And by December 2025.
Now, honorable member, you seem to be derailing your motion. Well, your motion is actually talking about gold for reserve scheme. Your motion is not talking about Gold Board. Take that into consideration, because Gold Board is just a body that was established by an act here. But you're talking about the whole scheme, Gold for Reserve scheme. So please address that generally. Then if you bring some evidence around Gold Board, then you can go to Gold Board. But you haven't laid that foundation yet.
Speaker, very well noted. Speaker, according to the IMF, in its reports contained in its recent review of our gold for reserve scheme, the Bank of Ghana has lost $240 million in just 9 months. Mr. Speaker, as of December 2025,
Minority
over
leader,
$7 million.
Minority leader, I will give you enough time, don't worry.
Very well.
Majority leader, yes, any issue?
Mr. Speaker, he is misleading the House because he is making a statement without producing the evidence. He should lay before this House the audit report that says that there was a loss of $240 million. Mr. Speaker, if you have a meeting somewhere and the IMF gives you briefing, what the IMF says is not an authoritative statement regarding the finances of this country. It is hearsay. It is hearsay. Until there is an audit and the audit report is presented in this House, and that becomes the basis for a debate. You can't just get up and say IMF says that, and if IMF says that 240 million is lost, on what basis? On what basis? I want a document. I want a document, a report from the IMF laid in this House. Laid in this House so that we will look at it. Mr. Speaker, I object to that portion and demand that he lays the report.
Majority leader, so far, what he referred to is a statement of the IMF. That's what he has just referred to. He hasn't laid the statement, but he referred to a statement. Unless you are raising the issue that the IMF never made such a statement. That is different from now talking about audited report. When he just referred to statements, did the IMF make such a statement? If yes, then he can go on. And in your submissions, then you can raise the issue that this was a mere statement by the IMF, no audited report, no this and that, those things. But he has the right to refer to the statement that was made by the IMF. That's what he has done. He hasn't gone beyond that. So please, I don't think he's out of order. So you can continue. Majority Leader, yes?
See, Mr. Speaker, Rule 103
yes.
says that a motion shall relate to a definite issue and not contain arguments, inferences, ironical expressions, imputations, or defamatory statements. Defamatory statements. When you make a statement about an organization such as the central bank, based on somebody's statement, which tends to bring the bank into disrepute, something that brings the reputation of the bank into disrepute, the image of the bank into disrepute, without any documentary evidence, no audit. And even when the central bank says, wait, I am conducting an audit on myself, we are engaging experts, wait till the experts finish the audit, then we will know exactly what the problem is. But when you say this is the laws, if it turns out in future that that's not the laws, the bank would have been defamed. So that is why I am reluctant to allow this motion to continue, because, Mr. Speaker, clearly there's no basis for that statement. A statement by the IMF. Who are the IMF? And where is the copy of the statement? Lay the copy of the statement here.
Majority Leader, please, what you refer to in Order 103 talks about a motion. A motion shall relate to a definite issue. That's the first thing. And not. And so you are referring to the motion. Now, the motion we have, which is captured at page 11 of the order paper, says that this Honorable House, pursuant to Article 103 of the 1992 Constitution, and orders to
we ain't some of the team also channel so I mean and I was so Jim Ray, the Senator Badi in the Edomian.